Hello again. The tightly contested battle is hours away from decision in Ayawaso East constituency, with new polling tipping the NDC as favorite less than 24 hours before voters head to the polls. Well, fresh data from global InfoAnalytics points to an edge for the NDC's Baba Jamal in the by-election. He faces Baba Ali Yusuf of the New Patriotic Party, Ibrahim Idrisu of the Liberal Party of Ghana, and two independent candidates. The NDC's Deputy Communications Officer, Akugan, says they are confident of winning with a percentage of over 70%. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, my colleague Stephen Manson just returned from the constituency and joins me in the studio with more on this. Stephen, you have been in the constituency this morning. What is the mood there?
It's one of an expectation for most of the residents there. They're expecting peace and stability within the constituency during, before, and after the elections. What you will notice once you get into the constituency will be the posters and signages of all the aspirants, the 5 aspirants. It's splashed all around the constituency. You will notice Baba Jamal's posters, the LPG party, and the independent candidates also. Their posters all around, right from the runabout, the Nima runabout, all through to the Nima market, all throughout the constituency. We've been speaking to some of the residents in the constituency, and as I mentioned earlier, they are expecting peace within the constituency. They've also been talking about some expectations they'll want from the next member of parliament. For some, they'll want infrastructure.
Right.
You know, it's positioned quite strategically. It's close to the presidency. It's close to the Nima Highway also, and it's one that I spoke to one resident who says she came all the way from Dansoman to purchase from the Nima market. That shows how critical it is. So these residents say that they want the Nima market expanded.
Right.
One of the expectations from the next member of parliament will be the expansion of the market. They also talk about an improvement in the sanitation of the constituency, the drainage and cleanliness, general cleanliness in the constituency also. You notice that what we noticed was that some of these homes do not have places of convenience. So they have to travel all the way to these public places for to ease themselves. So they want government or the next member of parliament to provide that for them also. One other critical thing these residents I spoke to tell me is that they want skills training for the youth. There's this perception that Nima is one that has been characterized by violence and social vices. And these residents say one of the main contributions to these social vices will be that these people or this youth are not trained. They are unemployed, uneducated. Right. So once the next member of parliament is given them the opportunity to train themselves in artisanal works and all, it will bring down these social vices in the constituency. And generally, they would want an overall development of the constituency. It's pretty interesting to me because I spoke to one person, she says that she wants the constituency to be at par with the East Lagons and the cantonments.
Right. And Stephen, you've also been speaking to an executive of the governing NDC. What has he been telling you?
Right. So the National Deputy Communications Officer for the NDC, he says that they are pretty optimistic of a victory or emerging victorious in the elections. The elections come tomorrow. And they say that they would win by a percentage of over 70%.
Right.
And then they are not expecting any vote buying incident or gift incident during these elections. We can listen to him.
Stephen, we will listen to that in a moment. But in the meantime, though, let's go onto the telephone lines right now and speak to the Director of Elections at the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Fred Tete. Fred, grateful for your time this afternoon. Is the Electoral Commission fully prepared for tomorrow's polls?
Hello.
Hi, Fred. Welcome to the program. I'm asking if the EC is fully prepared for tomorrow's polls.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Fred, I can hear you.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. And good afternoon to everybody and to the listeners, particularly those in Ayawaso East constituency where we're going to hold the by-elections tomorrow. The EC is ready. As I've been saying, we are totally ready for tomorrow's by-elections. From the point of preparation, logistics, we are ready.
Right. Fred, I would appreciate if you can turn on your camera so we can see your face. Speaking of logistics and materials, Are all of them ready as we speak?
Hello?
Hello, Fred? Hello, Fred, can you hear me? We're struggling to establish
Your line is breaking.
Yes, but I can hear you. We're struggling to establish connection with Fred today with the Electoral Commission. He's the Director of Research at the EC there. He was giving us an update on their preparedness for tomorrow's by-election in the Ayawaso East constituency. Do we have Fred back on the line? Unfortunately, we do not. But let's bring in Rashid Tanko Computer. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. Rashid, grateful for your time this afternoon. We've been to the constituency today. We see that it is fully prepared for the election tomorrow. And as a party, how prepared are you for tomorrow?
Very well, my brother. Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers across the globe. The NDC is very much prepared for tomorrow. In fact, we have done our job over the past 2 weeks. We've been busy in the constituency, busy training our party agents, training our observers and supervisors, and our campaign relays. So we've been very busy in the constituency, and I can assure you it's looking very bright for us tomorrow.
Right.
We are going to win with a very huge margin tomorrow.
Global InfoAnalytics is predicting 75% win for the NDC. Do you agree with that? Hello, Rashid?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, I was asking you if you agree with Global InfoAnalytics' latest prediction that the NDC candidate, Baba Jamal, is going to win this by-election with as much as 75% of the votes tomorrow.
Well, I am not surprised with the outcome of their results because clearly, if you look at the kind of work we have put in the constituency, and the constituencies to they are living testimonies of the performance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I mean, if you put it all together, I'm not surprised with the 75% at all. I'm not surprised. Clearly, we're even expecting more because of what we have done in the constituency. We've campaigned vigorously. The people are telling us they are living testimonies of the good works of the NDC government. And then, therefore, they are going to return a good verdict for the NDC. In fact, that's what they are telling us in the constituency. Right. Wherever you go, we present our message to them. They receive it with open arms, and they are telling us, NDC, you have no problem. You are a party that we can trust. We will vote for you tomorrow. I mean, this one is very clear. So I'm not surprised with the outcome of Global InfoAnalytics.
A few weeks ago, there was a parliamentary primaries that elected Baba Jamal in that particular constituency to lead the NDC. We all heard accusations of vote buying. In fact, your party found Baba Jamal and the other candidates to have engaged in vote buying. Are you putting any mechanisms in place tomorrow to ensure that what we witnessed during the primaries of allegations of vote buying does not repeat itself when it comes to your candidate?
Very well. You saw what happened. Shortly after the issue came up, we formed a 3-man committee to investigate that. And they presented their report. Unfortunately, our party constitution did not make room for how to handle matters of that nature. And then so we had to move on. But we've expanded the mandate of the 3-man committee. Now we've added additional 4 members to make a 7-member committee to go into the matter and come out with a workable recommendation of which to keep this, because the NDC, as a social democratic party, abhors such a behavior. And that tells you that tomorrow by election, we are not going to expect this, because this one is a national election. It's not a candidate's election. The party is leading the campaign for this election, and the party is leading the charge for tomorrow. So if the party is against that matter, you don't expect that issue to happen tomorrow at all. It won't happen.
Right. Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you very much. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing National Democratic Congress. And I understand that we have Fred Tete of the Electoral Commission back on the line. Fred, I want to believe you can hear me now. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Right. I was asking you about logistics and the materials for tomorrow's elections. How ready is the Electoral Commission?
Okay, let me assure the voting public in Ayawaso East that in terms of logistics, materials such as the registers, the BVDs, the verification machines, and ballot boxes, everything that goes with the election process tomorrow are ready. Personnel are ready as well. I'm talking about the 455 recruited staff that are going to man the polling stations. And we're talking about 113 polling stations in this case. Everybody is ready. We are ready to deliver free, fair, and transparent elections tomorrow.
And Fred, the issue about security has been one that is of utmost concern, especially in by-elections like this. How are you collaborating with the security agencies to ensure that there's maximum security on the day?
There has been a series of engagement from the time those 60 days period for those by-election was kickstart by the Electoral Commission. We've engaged the police service at the top hierarchy to the regional and district level. In addition, we've met at the IPAC level together with the police as well, at the RIPAC and then the DIPAC level to engage them as to preparation. An interesting thing about Ayawaso East is that although Nima, Mamubi, Kanda, Kwautulu, up to Kaukudi area has some kind of description, these are places, or this is a place where you don't record many flashpoints. And interestingly, people living in that area, though I would say how people perceive the place, interestingly, the place has been peaceful in our elections throughout. And therefore, tomorrow, we anticipate things will not be anything different from what we've been experiencing over the past period. The last time the turnover was 74%, and we are anticipating that people will turn up in their numbers tomorrow to vote in an atmosphere of peace, cordiality, and friendship. As you know, 5 candidates are contesting these elections. We have the NDC candidate, we have the Liberal Party candidate, MPP candidate, and 2 other independent candidates as well. And they are all trying to solicit for the vote of the close to 50,000 voters in that area. And therefore, we appeal to them that people should not amass supporters and what have you at that very day to create problems. We also appeal to the honorables. When it comes to by-elections, one thing that creates confusion is members of parliament.
Oh, Fred, it appears that we've lost you again on the line. Fred today is with the Electoral Commission. He was giving us some statistics there. But let's bring in the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Divine Agbohom. Welcome to the program, Divine. We've heard from the NDC, we've heard from the Electoral Commission. They all say they are ready, prepared for tomorrow. How ready and prepared is the NPP for tomorrow as well? Kindly unmute so we can hear you. Hello, Divine? Right, we're trying to establish connection
good
with...
afternoon.
Right, Divine, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so, yes, we are here in Ayawaso East. We are done with campaign, as you know, 24 hours to the D-Day. Constitutionally, you are not allowed to campaign. Now we no more doing campaign. We're doing the final preparation regarding our agents, positioning, arrangement for collation, security, etc. We've had maximum cooperation from the Electoral Commission so far. The Ghana police yesterday also showed their presence in the constituency in a way that is quite, assuring. And we are hoping that the day will end tomorrow and we'll not hear any of the stories, the unpleasant stories that often characterizes elections such as this one. So far, I think that it's good. We are hopeful that for once the constituents of Ayawaso East will tell Ghanaians a different story by voting for Baba Ali, the candidate of the New Patriotic Party. So far, this is the situation here in Ayawaso East now.
Your colleague from the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer, tells me that they're expecting about 70% or more of the votes tomorrow. That means the MPP is likely to lose, according to what he's saying. Do you agree with him, the numbers that he's given us?
Well, just as you would not expect me to say that they would win, what we have done in the constituency, one, we have a candidate as an indigent that hails from here, born and bred, schooled, everything here in this constituency. He served the constituency, he's a known member of the constituency, and is liked by the constituents. Unlike their candidates that, in a way, one would say was parachuted into the constituency. We are convinced that the Ayawaso East constituents would for once vote for somebody who comes from their place, who would represent them in parliament. Very unusual of what happens during by-elections. This time, coming to the constituency, you will not see any development, last-minute development, you will want to call it. That usually comes along with by-elections such as this. And it points only to one thing, that the NDC is taking the constituents for granted, for reason that, whatever it is, they will vote for us, as has been, the situation in the past. So they are not taking them serious. Their focus has rather been on a member of their party who's decided to go independent. And we think that, well, as it is, if we are able to get our members out to vote in their numbers tomorrow, because you agree with me that usually during by-elections, the turnout is normally very low. And so from what we have done, if we are able to get even 65% turnout tomorrow, we are likely to pull a surprise. So yes, the NDC, how do you call it? The person who spoke on behalf of the NDC, right, of course, will say what he said. But we are hoping that the constituents will listen to our story, that they should give the MPP the opportunity this time, because we have picked somebody who represents their interest, and they will vote for us tomorrow.
If you say you are winning, by how many percent are you predicting?
Well, in terms of percentage, you see, if we look at what we are anticipating, the gentleman, how do you call it, Thunder, will take away from the NDC votes, we are so sure that if we are able to get about 37% of the votes tomorrow, we are likely to win the election. So a minimum of 37%. If the gentleman is also able to take about, between 18 and 20% of the vote, then you can be sure NDC is out.
Right, Divine, don't go yet. I have Rashid Tanko Computer back on the line to respond to some of your comments. Rashid Tanko Computer, you were listening to Divine. He says that the MPP candidate should be voted for because he is born and bred in that particular constituency. And you're not happy with that statement?
Well, I don't know what he described by born and bred in that constituency. He's trying to talk of indigent. The indigents of Accra are Gans. The Gans are Dangbis. They are the indigents of Accra. We are all not indigents of Accra. And among the 5 candidates, I have not seen any Gan Dangbi among them. So what is he talking about? You see, that's why I'm saying that they don't even understand the way the constituency is made up of. Okay? If they are going to go by that measure, then a lot of their MPs, the MPP MPs in Accra, will be booted out. I'm not surprised in 2024 they booted all of them out. You see, that is what they have been doing. They don't understand the politics today. And they try to bring in ethnicity and all those kind of things. We don't do our politics that way. In any case, the Ayawaso East people are very much satisfied with the performance of the NDC. Do you know that that constituency is predominantly a Muslim-dominated constituency? Tell me, 8 years, what did they do for them? They made sure that even going to Hajj, which is one of the pillars of Islam, they needed to pay more than almost 80,000 Ghana cedis to get to Mecca. Why? You want to kill them?
But Rashid, Divine has also
today. What are you doing?
Divine has also stated that you've also been winning this seat, the NDC. Usually, you are the ones that win this seat, and he doesn't see any development that you've brought to that particular area. How about that?
You see, when they talk of development, it's not about building a classroom block. We have what we call human development and societal development as well. Go and check Ayawaso as we speak now. Why would they continue to be voting NDC? Because the people believe in the policy of the NDC, and they believe that it is only NDC who will make their life better. And we have continued to make their life better in the constituency. Currently, go there and see Ayawaso market. Ayawaso is the market. Prices of foodstuffs have gone down drastically. We're in the month of Ramadan. The people are happy with us because the cost of living is very low as of now in the constituency, and it's making life for them easy to continue their religious obligation. Is that not development? Is that not development?
Is it?
So what are they talking about? I see they have nothing to hang on. I'm telling you that tomorrow they are going to lose massively. They are going to lose and lose massively. I can assure you for that. Because the people have confidence in the government of the NDC, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and they are going to deliver a verdict for us tomorrow. Watch and see.
Divine, I believe I still have you on the line. Rashid has rebuffed your claim that the candidate for the New Patriotic Party was born and bred there. That makes him an indigene. He says that the indigenous people of this land are the Gadangwe. And if you look at Baba Jamal and your candidate as well, none of them is an indigene of the Greater Accra region. So you cannot make such a claim that because he was born and bred there, the people should vote for him.
All right, so thank you. I heard him all right. Fortunately, he repeated exactly what I described as an indigene. I said that our candidate, Baba Ali, is a born and bred indigene of Nima. I mean, he hails from there. That's where he was born. That's where he was raised and all. And I compared that to their candidate. So he should be able to speak to this. That's the distinction line that I have drawn. I'm saying that their candidate does not, hail from this place. We all know Baba Jamal, in a way, politically is associated with Akotia. And how can you be in Akotia and be here at the same time? I understand. I'm a Gandangme, okay? But we all know that Great Accra is the capital of the nation Ghana. And so it's cosmopolitan. I mean, all other tribes live here. But I'm making a particular reference to the fact that our candidate is born and bred, member of the constituency we are referring to. Can he say the same of his candidate also? Is the argument. Let's place it in context. Again, we're talking about development. And I'm happy he smartly dodged all infrastructural development. He's talking about human development, talking about Hajj and all that. He rightly said that the constituents of Ayawaso East are all Muslims, okay, which means that he is also making reference to a particular sect. Of course, fortunately for us, our candidate is also a Muslim. In fact, the parents are all Muslim, Malam, and how do you call it, clerics. He himself, he has taught in, a lot of the Islamic schools here, and they all know he has a lot of students to his credit that he produced here as a teacher. So you want to understand that when you talk about physical development, he is talking about human development. Which of the two parties can be accredited with human development more than the NPP? We introduced free SHS, and the constituents of Ayawaso East also benefited from this. And in fact, they are still benefiting. We have products that, we turn out as a result of the free SHS. And to him, this is not human development. We have taken projects like Agenda 111 to ensure that we have hospitals in that constituency. I was thinking that at least NDC is in government, and the argument he's making, he would have been making particular reference to, any state development that they have been able to, do in that constituency that he can make reference to. He's talking about the president. For once, we are seeing a by-election where the sitting president is not partaking in that exercise. And you think that that's not cause to worry? Clearly, you can see that the NDC is taking the constituents of Ayawaso East for granted, thinking that no matter what it is, they will vote for the NDC. And for that reason, they are not taking them serious. Now, all their focus, as I said, is on their candidate who has defected to become an independent candidate in this particular election. The major gutter that has been a problem for them in Nima, we did that and covered it. The only such concrete gutter covered in the constituency was done by us during Kufuor's time. These are the things I expect my brother Tanko to be talking to, and not saying that they send people to Hajj. The people you are sending to Hajj, they paid. The dollar rate then and the dollar rate now are two, different situations, and it will affect the city value, the city component. So for this one, we did ours. You are also doing yours, and you can't say that because of that the people should vote for you. We are saying that we all know what happened during by-election. Right. Is that what we are witnessing in Ayawaso East now? No.
Divine Agohom, thank you very much. He's the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Opposition MPP. I still have Rashid Tanko Computer on the line with me. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. Rashid, you've been listening to the rebuttal from Divine. Your departing words so that we can wrap up this.
Well, Chairman Divine should have listened to me. I made it very clear that, look, they shouldn't go that path. Boniface was born and bred in Salga. They brought him to Medina. And he became Medina MP for MPP. So, you see, that's why they cannot choose and pick. So that kind of campaign there, it won't go anywhere. It will fall flat. But I can assure you, we are ready. Now he's happy. He's talking of the dollar rate. Who has brought it down? Is it not the NDC, who have stabilized the cedi to the dollar? When at their time, it was 17 cedis to the dollar. And that's why they were punishing the Muslims who are going to Mecca. Because they needed plenty of money. A lot of Ghanaian cedis to change to dollars before they can go to perform one of the pillars of Islam. The NDC has brought it down. We have made life easier for the Muslims in the constituency. It's one of the biggest things that we can talk of. That is a development. That one, we have developed their pocket. We have brought back money into their pocket so that they will continue their business. That is what we are talking about. I know Chairman Divine is people there. They have lost already. We are only to make sure that, look, why would the president come in the constituency? The chief of staff was in the constituency yesterday. The chief of staff, the party national chairman, the leadership of the party. In fact, everybody were in the constituency. As we speak now, leadership of the party are in the constituency. So why do you want to bring the president into the constituency? In any case, the Flagstaff House is in the constituency. They are even happy. They are lucky. The Flagstaff, the government, the seat of government is in that constituency. So what are they talking about?
Right. Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you very much. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. And earlier we heard from Divine Agohum, who is the regional chairman of the MPP here in the Greater Accra region. We've also been hearing from the NDC communications team on the preparations ahead of tomorrow's by-election in Ayawaso East. Take a listen.
To win in tomorrow's elections?
Ayawaso East is our seat, and we don't have a problem with winning. In fact, our main concentration in these elections is our mobilization and how we'll be able to pull the people out to come and vote. And every 10 people that comes out to vote, we know we are having a minimum of 7. So that shouldn't be much. The winning is not a problem, but it's our mobilization to get people out that will tell the story.
Your opponents, the NPP, don't seem to agree with you on this score that, yes, this has been your stronghold, but then there's always time for history.
I don't think anybody going to war will tell you that he's going to war to lose. So we don't expect that from the NPP. Obviously, they know that they can't do much in this constituency, but at least they need that message to give their people hope. And you see, strategically, when you are going for such elections, an improvement on your earlier results also gives you a bragging right. So at least they will come here and say that probably they got 29% in the main elections, they have got 30% now or 31%, so they think that they've improved upon the earlier elections. Every election and its strategy, but to win deep down their hearts, they know it's impossible. In fact, it is impossible and cannot.
Interesting. So what's the percentage you'll be looking at for tomorrow's election?
I wouldn't deal with percentages too much, but we did 70% the last time, 2024. 2 years down the line, I believe that if we are able to mobilize well tomorrow, we should be able to go above 70%. I'm not surprised that people have started predicting 75% and all that, but at least we want to beat the 70% mark, ideally.
It will be really interesting, given that Global InfoAnalytics is tipping you guys to win. What do you think of the poll?
I've not studied the entire polls, but they wouldn't be wrong when it comes to predicting the victory of NDC in Ayawaso East. Is the easiest to do, but I know he was very careful the last time, because Ayawaso East was the first constituency to beat his predictions at the primaries. He predicted that Baba Jamal was not going to win and was going to come second, but in fact Baba Jamal won. And I'm just not happy with the strong defense that he is putting up. That's the only thing I don't like about his posturing. Yes, you can do your best in polls. It can go wrong. One factor can let your poll go wrong or something. Yes, but you don't use it as your yardstick for getting it wrong and all that. It's not the best of posturing. So for me, my advice to him is that so far he's shown himself to be credible. We appreciate his work, and for me, any work or from anyone, I take it seriously, even when it's going against me. At least if you study it, it will tell you something to improve. And if you are able to improve it, then means that your predictions can turn, because I worked on myself or worked on what you thought that I was not doing well. So it can turn, but you don't say that because of what was given out and all that resulted in that. It just can't be true, because what happened as a party, we formed a committee, we investigated it, and we knew what happened. And it's not just one person who, gave out goodies that changed it. Everybody did. So it means that it couldn't have been the reason for him getting it wrong.
In the bustling Zongo communities of Sekendi Takoradi, rising temperatures are turning homes into ovens. The combination of climate change, poor housing design, and limited ventilation is creating unbearable indoor heat and putting lives at risk. The most vulnerable, children, the elderly, and pregnant women are feeling the heat the hardest. Prince Oisuesiru has more in today's Climate Evidence.
Ghana's climate strategies recognize the dangers of global warming But the threat of indoor heat in low-income communities often goes unnoticed. In Sekondi Takoradi Zongo, cramped buildings and limited airflow are often compounding the crisis. Resident Teresa Baini says the problem is deeply rooted in poor urban planning.
Buildings are packed tight, blocking breeze. Wood fires for cooking make the heat worse.
For many families, coping with heat has become a daily struggle. Trader Balikisu Dauda explains that she keeps her children cool by wiping them down with wet towels, but says the elderly are often left to endure the heat with little relief.
The heat is harsh, causing rashes and making kids uncomfortable. We most of the times use wet towels to cool them down, trying to help them sleep. It's tougher for kids. They can't handle it like adults do.
Another resident, Idris Mohammed, says the heat drives them outdoors at night.
Even with the air conditioner, the heat is overwhelming, forcing us to rely on natural ventilation, like laying mats outside just to catch a breeze.
The Sekondi Metropolitan Assembly says it's aware of the growing concern. The Metropolitan Development Planning Officer and Climate Change Focal Point, Abu Mohammed, says the Assembly is taking steps to reduce the impact of extreme heat, especially in communities like European Town, where many women cook using traditional cooking methods.
Particularly in the Zongos, you realize that the buildings are mostly joined together. It is not like a new settlement where there's ventilation. So technically it will generate heat, and people, but because they have lived with it, they are not realizing. So we need to have education and educate them to understand that there's a change, and that change is the reason why there's so much heat.
A recent study by Ebenezer Mankwa of the University of Ghana paints a worrying picture. It shows that extreme indoor temperatures in Sekondi Takoradi Zongo communities are worsening residents' health. Many rely on electric fan and open windows to stay cool, but frequent power outages and high electricity cost makes these options unreliable. Amankwa recommends stronger climate-responsive housing policies that focus on ventilation, thermal comfort, and affordable cooling for low-income urban dwellers. Its finding echoes Ghana National Adaptation Plan and nationally determined contribution goals, both calling for urgent climate action that safeguard public health.
We have installed heat detection devices in rooms and hospitals. For setup, position windows to face each other and orient buildings to allow wind flow, reducing heat impact.
As temperatures continue to rise, the heat inside Zongo homes is no longer just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. The efforts by the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly are a positive step, but experts warn that lasting solution will require bold housing reforms and stronger climate resilience measures to protect those most at risk.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from CLARE R4I Opportunities Fund.
Well, President John Mahama has delivered his second State of the Nation address since returning to power for the second time. And for the second consecutive time, he wore the same smock. Coincidence or a calculated signal of continuity for his reset agenda in 2026? My colleague Emmanuel Jivenu reports.
President John Dramani Mahama in recent times has consistently worn the smock, also known as fugu or batakari, at major national and international events. At his first address to the United Nations General Assembly after returning to power, he appeared in Fugu. During his state's visit to Zambia in February, he wore Fugu, a decision that sparked conversation across diplomatic and public spaces. His first State of the Nation address in 2025 also featured the traditional attire. This year, the president appears once again in a Fugu, strikingly similar in design to the one he worn previously, this time paired with a cap. The repetition is noticeable. Is this simply wardrobe continuity, or does it signal something deeper?
President repeating the same dress is to show consistency, continuity, and ability to continue where he started from in the last year.
As we build on the foundation laid in 2025, the first year of my return to the presidency, we do so with clarity of purpose, unity of action, and confidence in our ability to deliver a future worthy of our people's sacrifice and their aspirations. I can say to you with confidence, Ghana is back.
Historian Kweku Dako Ankra says political attire in Ghana often carries deliberate meaning.
It is a reassurance about his constituency that nothing else will distract him and that he is ready to continue the way he intends to captain the ship of nation into its safety as he promised when he won the elections.
Our nation is on the runway. It is in takeoff mode. And you are all advised to fasten your seat belts.
By returning in the same symbolic attire, the president reinforces the message that the policy direction remains unchanged, that the agenda is ongoing.
These measures have begun to deliver some of the most remarkable economic outcomes in decades.
So the president is trying to use this dressing symbol as an evocative way of reassurance, of consistency, of his own humility.
During my recent trip to Zambia, we saw what a united Ghana can achieve on the global stage. It showed a nation that understands its brand equity. If we can mobilize that same collective resolve for our development agenda, we will see real progress.
By consistently wearing the Fugu at major national and international platforms, President John Dramani Mahama elevates Ghanaian heritage and increased visibility for local craftsmanship. The repeated display strengthens demand for locally woven textiles, supports tailors, weavers, and contribute to job creation along the textile value chain. Emmanuel Jivenu, JoyNews, Accra.
In our first episode of JoyNews' Ghana Month series, we bring you the story of Jamestown, a historic Ghana community that played a significant role in Ghana's fight for independence. Colonial administration once operated from James Fort, making the area a center of control but also a symbol of resistance among the local people. Ramat Bashiru has the rest of the story.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have brought results.
From the struggle against British colonial rule to present day, Jamestown has been a hotbed of political activity.
At long last, the battle has ended, and thus Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
Some of the leading voices in the independence movement later became known as the Big Six. The nationalists who played key roles in challenging colonial rule included two prominent Ghana leaders, Emmanuel Obichibilamte and Ebenezer Akweje. Benjamin Ni Kwate Owu, an elderly resident, recount how the town got its name and how Ebenezer Akweje mobilized the Ga people and residents of Jamestown to support the independence movement.
That we should support Kwame Nkrumah and Ghanaians. Those times they was called a Big Six, but when we come to have our independence, we all fight for him and support him to claim Gold Coast to Ghana. When they are about to fight with the independent, Akwaje, he said he have a friend, one of his friends is called Kwame Nkrumah. So the five of them be together and send off to find Kwame Nkrumah, and he went to UK and brought Kwame Nkrumah to Ghana. That time this was Gold Coast. So before he came, then when Kwame Nkrumah was doing, I remember I was not there, but I hear from my elders that Kwame Nkrumah, he came here and called them conference. Well, then he gave a speech that now we maturity, so we have to take we can manage our country.
At the Jamestown Tourism Information Center, historian Amfri Lamte describes British rule as a time of hardship for many Ghanaians. He explains that the story of Jamestown dates back to the construction of the James Fort in 1643. Jamestown formed part of Accra Central, the constituency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah represented after winning the 1951 elections while detained at James Fort.
A lot of people die. It's very painful history, very sad. By that time, they don't see us as human beings. They see us like animals because we have gents, those who are very strong men and strong women. Something like the fort. This James Fort prison was built by the British, 1643, for slavery activities. And when slavery was abolished, the Ghana government turned this place as a prison. 1960 up to 2007, the prison is closed. So that's where Kwame Nkrumah was put. The first president of Ghana was put inside over there for a year. In 1950s, he removed from this very prison 51, became the prime minister 52. After that, Ghana got independence 57.
Sergeant Ajete and all who fought for freedom. Everybody, toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave which have brought results. Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom, toils of the brave and the sweat of the...
We've got more stories for you after the break. Don't go anywhere.